Ah, the kitchen. It really is the heart of the home, isn't it? It's where everything happens. But what if I told you it's also probably the most dangerous room in your house? Today, we're going to change that. We're going to shockproof your kitchen. And we're starting with a question. So take a second and think about it. If you had to guess the most dangerous room in your house, where would you pick? Maybe the garage, right? With all the tools and chemicals? Or maybe the bathroom, with the slippery surfaces? Well, the answer might actually surprise you.
Yep. The real danger zone is the one place where those three things, water, intense heat, and a whole lot of electricity, are constantly rubbing shoulders. It's your kitchen. Believe it or not, this is where a huge number of home electrical accidents happen.
Okay, so let's dive into the number one culprit, and it's something we're all guilty of, the overloaded socket. The thing is, our kitchens today are packed with more gadgets than our homes were ever designed to handle, and that creates a pretty serious risk.
I mean, just picture your countertop right now. You've probably got a kettle, a toaster, a microwave, maybe an air fryer, a coffee machine, and they're all vying for just one or two outlets. So what do? We reach for the extension cord or a multi-way adapter, and without even thinking about it, we're creating a massive fire hazard.
Just look at this number for a second. 3,000 watts. That's how much power a single electric kettle can pull down all on its own. That's like turning on 30 old-school 100-watt light bulbs at once. Now imagine plugging that and your toaster into the same flimsy extension cord. You're just asking for that wiring to overheat.
So, let's be really clear on what we mean by a high-wattage appliance. Basically, it's anything that either gets really hot or has a big motor. Think kettles, toasters, microwaves, air fryers. These are the power hogs in your kitchen, and they need to be treated with a little bit of respect.
So how do you fix it? It's actually super simple. It's called the one-socket rule. First, know which of your appliances are the high-wattage ones. Second, give each of them their own private wall socket. And third, and this is the big one, never, ever run more than one of these power hogs from a single extension cord. It's probably the single best thing you can do to prevent an electrical fire. All right, so overloaded sockets are a huge danger. But what happens when you throw water into that equation? Because in the kitchen, that absolutely fatal combination is always just a splash away, and it's a threat we tend to forget about. And here's why it's so unbelievably critical. When your skin is dry, it actually has a decent amount of natural resistance to electricity. It's like a built-in safety feature. But the second your hands get wet, that resistance just plummets. It basically turns your body into a perfect conductor for a lethal shock. So the simple act of drying your hands isn't just about hygiene, it's your first line of defense.
Look, if you take one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. I'm going to say it again because it's that important. Always, always dry your hands before you touch any switch, any socket, or any appliance. Seriously, there are absolutely no exceptions to this rule. It could save your life.
And you also need to think spatially. Create a no-splash zone. Keep appliances like your kettle and toaster a good distance from the sink. And if you do spill water near an outlet, your first instinct might be to wipe it up, but don't. Your very first move should be to walk to your fuse board and kill the power to that entire circuit. Then you can clean it up. This is exactly why modern building codes insist on RCD-protected outlets near sinks. They can cut the power in a split second if they sense a problem. Okay, let's talk about a more subtle danger, one that creeps up on you over time, and that's the constant heat and steam that's just part of life in a kitchen. We're not just talking about burning your hand on a hot pan. We're talking about what that ambient heat does to your electrical cords.
Here's a quick reality check for you. Right now, go and picture your toaster. Where's the power cord? Is it kind of draped over the back, maybe even touching the hot metal side of the toaster while it's on? I see this all the time. But that constant exposure to heat breaks down the plastic insulation on the cable, making it brittle, cracked, and incredibly dangerous. So here's a little checklist you can use literally right now. Go take a peek at the cords for your kitchen gadgets. Do you see any cracks? Any frayed bits? Is the plastic discolored? Does it feel weirdly stiff and brittle instead of flexible? All of those are giant red flags telling you that the cable's protective layer is failing and it's time to replace it.
And please, hear me on this. A bit of electrical tape is not a fix. It's not a solution. It's just hiding a fire hazard that's waiting to happen. A damaged cable needs to be replaced, period. No patching it up.
So let's pull all of this together. Because knowing about these risks is one thing, but actually staying safe is all about building simple, repeatable habits until they become second nature.
Here are 4 easy ones to start with. First, unplug the toaster when you're done.
Faulty switches and crumb buildup are a huge fire risk. Which brings us to number 2, empty that crumb tray. You're literally removing fuel for a fire. Third, tuck away appliance cords so they're not dangling off the counter where a child could pull a heavy, hot appliance down. And finally, listen to your appliances. If you see a spark or smell something burning, that's a warning. Unplug it immediately and get it checked out.
Oh, and one last vital piece of equipment. A lot of kitchens have a carbon monoxide alarm, which is great. You definitely need one. But it will do absolutely nothing to detect an electrical fire. For that, you need a proper smoke alarm. And make sure it's installed a little ways away from your stove so you don't set it off every time you make toast.
When you boil it all down, the real issue comes down to this. The kitchen is such a comfortable, familiar space that we just get complacent. We stop seeing the risks that are right in front of us because we see them every single day. But just because we're not thinking about them doesn't mean those dangers have gone away.
So I want to leave you with a final thought. We've covered a lot today, from the one-socket rule to checking your cables and always drying your hands. So my question to you is, what is the one simple change you're going to make today to make your kitchen a safer place?